Hey everyone, welcome to another one of my LinkedIn Live events. So, first of all, apologies from my side. This event was supposed to get started at 5 p.m., but we're starting about 45 minutes late. It's because it was raining very heavily in Bangalore, because of which my Wi Fi wasn't really working. So, uh, now, keeping all of that aside and beginning, today's topic is going to be about how to monetize your coaching skills. Now, as I'm writing more and more about coaching and how to set up your business, and because my life coach training and monetization program is also coming up this month, by the way, if you did not know. So, if you're someone who's an aspiring coach and who wants to get trained and certified as a life coach, as well as you want to learn how to monetize it and start your own business, you're very welcome to join us. You can get more information about the training program by joining my community, The Empowered Coach. You can find the link to my community in my bio, and you can also just DM me Empowered, and I will send you the link right away. So coming back to the topic, because I have been writing more and more about coaching skills. I've been writing more and more about coaching businesses. I am getting a lot of messages from coaches who are telling me that, Rianshi, we have a certificates. Okay, we've gotten trained, and we have had our mentor coaches who have done the mentoring part. But now what? Like, we don't actually know how to monetize it. Like, literally a while back, someone asked me that, I want to do one-on-one coaching, but how does that even work? And that is a bit surprising to me, because this is a part of your coach training. This is something that should be included in your training. But because it is much easier to teach about coaching than to teach about how to monetize your coaching, a lot of people don't really, talk about how to monetize it, right? And that is why I see a lot of life coaches like go and get their certificates and training, and then they come out into the real world, and then they feel, okay, now what? How do I actually make back the investment I've done in my training, or how do I even monetize this skill? So they just keep the certificate with them. They write in their LinkedIn bios, I'm this certified, I'm that certified, I have this and I have that, but they're not actually making money. And when I say monetize, I mean that you literally have money hitting your bank account, not you doing free coaching hours, not you doing peer to peer coaching, none of that. I'm saying working with actual clients who are actually paying you. It could be one on one, it could be through your workshops or different things like that. And that is why this is a topic I really want to address. Before you even enroll into my training program, I want you to understand what does monetizing your coaching skills actually mean, because you need to know that if you're getting a skill, right, and if you see yourself practicing it, then you should be making money from it, right? That's even something that should not be even mentioned. Yet I am here mentioning it because I have heard this from so many people, that we have a certificate, we don't know what to do with it, we don't know how to actually have clients, we don't know how to actually get clients. And there is a reason why. Now, before I get to that, I'm just going to quickly check if my audio and video is working fine, because it is still raining here, and I'm not sure if the internet is flawless. And if you are attending this for the very first time, how this live event works is that I will be explaining to you this topic in depth, and in between, whatever question comes to your mind, send it. Okay, there is no question that is big or small or stupid or smart. Believe me, I have asked many, many, many questions, repeated questions to my coaches. It is because every time I asked the same question, the answer sank in a little bit more deeper. Okay, so ask questions. And if you feel that you don't want your questions to be visible in the public, which I know that a lot of you prefer an anonymity, you can just DM me while this event is going on, because I keep checking my phone. So I will know when you are asking me questions. Okay, so I'll just check if I am audible and visible. I think it is working fine. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I seem to be seeing the video going fine. All right. So I'm just going to assume that it's going fine. All right. So the number one reason why people find it very difficult to monetize their coaching skills is because people forget that coaching is a business, right? Coaching skill is the core skill. Business skill is the monetization skill. People learn the core skill very easily because, again, it's very easy to teach, right? It's very easy to just launch a certification program. But The real deal is when you actually learn how to monetize it. That is when you know not only the depth of your core skill, but you learn how do you actually monetize it. Think of it like this, right? Let's say that I am a potter, right? I know how to make beautiful clay pots, and I have gotten my certification. I have done 500 hours of pottery and all of that, and now I'm sitting at home, and now I'm wondering, I am so great. I am so good at pottery. Why are people not buying it? Why are people not able to see that I'm making such beautiful pots? But in reality, I have never really marketed myself. First, even if I have, I don't actually know how to market myself. Third, I have no idea how to price myself. Fourth, I don't know how to sell. I am afraid of selling because either I don't know how to sell because I've never bothered to learn it, or because nobody actually taught me that selling is a skill that you got to learn. Because ultimately, you only get paid when you know how to sell, right? So I can sit at my home, okay? I can have a very big ego that, oh my God, I'm so great. I've done so many hours of coaching, I have these many certificates. It doesn't matter, because when a person is coming to me, right, as a potter, they're not concerned with how many hours I've done pottery for, how many years I've done pottery for, how many certificates I have. They will see the beauty of my craft, and they will see whether the beauty of my craft actually aligns with them. So what they are going to look for is, can this person be someone who can help me, maybe beautify my home, maybe beautify my office, maybe beautify, my kids' bedroom. So this is what most coaches get wrong. They become obsessed with certifications, coaching hours, writing in their bios, I'm this certified, I'm that certified. And I get it, that's what, a lot of your coach training programs tell you to do. They tell you to take pride in your certification. But please don't get caught in the trap of that. I know many, many certified coaches, but I know very few coaches who are actually making good money. I know a lot of broke coaches. I know a lot of coaches who are struggling with their business. And I don't want you to be one of them. And for that, you must understand that coaching is a core skill, it's a skill of its own. But there are business skills that you need to learn to actually learn how to monetize your coaching skills. That is what we're talking about today. So these two are different things. Your certification means nothing. Your certification is just a proof that you're educated. And that is the most basic thing. It doesn't mean that you will actually get clients. It doesn't mean that you will actually make money through your skills. And this is why, when people also ask me, because I actually was talking to someone yesterday, and they told me that, what, Rianchi, there's so many people I know who haven't actually gotten trained as coaches, and they don't know jack shit about coaching, but they just, like to help people with their life experiences. And I said that there's nothing wrong with that, because you must understand that there is nothing wrong with helping people with your life experiences. You can call yourself whatever the hell you want. Ultimately, the only way to scale your business and the only way to create real impact so that you have repeatable clients is when you're actually properly trained and you know what the hell you're talking about. So I can call myself anything, it doesn't matter, because you have to understand that a business is not a short term fame or a short term money game. Business is a long term game, and to actually play a long term game, you need to know what you're talking about, and you need to have the skill to do it, right? I can sit with mud in my hand and call myself a potter, right? How long will that last? You tell me. Not long. People will figure out that I don't know what I'm talking about. People will figure out that, I'm creating the solution, but I actually don't know how to actually help them. So people will know. So that is why you don't have to worry about quacks. You don't have to worry about people who are pretending. You don't have to worry about people who don't know anything, who haven't gotten trained and they call themselves anything. You don't have to worry about them. They're truly not your competition, or they're truly not even near your competition. You need to be someone who needs to understand that business is a long term game. That is why I remember this one line from Rich Litwin. I think it was from his book, The Prosperous Coach. And there was this question that he asked, that, are you in it for the long game? And that's a question I remind myself of again and again. Because I have come to find that a lot of coaches quit before 2 years of their business because they're not in it for the long game. They're looking for some short term gain, short term success, some short term fame. So you must understand that that is not what a coaching business is about. Remember that when you become a coach and when you decide that I want a coaching business, please respect it. Okay? Coaching business is not a hobby, it's a business, and businesses take time, man. Like, that's the truth. You go out there and you see, let's say, someone doing an export business, someone doing a clothing business, you will not see them quit before 2 years. You will not see them say, you know what, I don't want to learn how to market and sell, I have clothes so people should just buy it. You will never see them saying things like that, because they know everything is necessary. They can have the core product, but they still need to know how to sell. It's the same thing. And again, unfortunately, a lot of coaches don't know that. And again, it's not our fault, because even I did not know that. The whole reason why I'm doing the life coach training and monetization program is because I don't want people to go through the confusion I went through, that you need to learn business skills, right? Otherwise you're just a glorified person with a certification, right? You can print a fake certificate online, what's the big deal? But that doesn't mean that you will actually have paying clients. That doesn't mean that you will actually have a sustainable business. And I'm focused on the latter part. I'm focused on the fact that you have a sustainable business, that you know how to expand, that you know how to create, right? So you must understand the difference. Okay, it doesn't matter if anyone is calling themselves anything, it doesn't matter how many hours or how many certificates anyone has. You need to simply focus on your craft, and you need to be in it for the long game, and you need to remind yourself of that. Because see, businesses do have their highs and lows. Okay, you need to always think about, if I were in some other business, would I quit so easily? If I were in some other business, would I say to myself that, you know what, I will not learn how to sell, people should find out one day? No, that's not how it works. You will never see other people do that with the businesses. So how is it different from you, right? If you're running a coaching business, you need to give that enough respect. And this reminds me of one more question that I asked one of my clients a while back. So I was helping her scale her business, I was mentoring her. She was also a life coach. And one of the things she told me was that, you know what, Rianshi, I only I only work on my business when I get the time. And that's when I told her that, you know what you're talking about is something that I used to do with like poetry. So I used to write poetry when I was young. I've stopped that now. But I told her that that was a hobby for me. That was not something I was considering serious profession. So that is what it is sounding like to me. So is this a hobby for you? And that's when it clicked her that she wants to build a business. That's what she keeps saying. But the energy she's putting in, the investment she's putting in, right? Not just money wise. Obviously, that is an obvious thing. You need to invest in your business. I'm saying even energy and time wise and learning wise. She was putting energy in the form that as if it was a hobby. So you need to also get clear with this, that whatever it is, wherever you are in your coaching business, maybe you are in the beginning, maybe you're in the middle, maybe you have already scaled your business but now you feel stuck. Wherever you are, ask yourself, is my coaching business a hobby to me, or is my coaching business a profession to me? If it is a hobby, it's okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But don't expect it to make money the way you want to. Just be clear with that. And if it is a profession, then understand that if it is a serious business you're doing, it's going to require energy, it's going to require time, it's going to require actually learning, right? Think of how other people run their businesses and startups. They don't joke around with it, right? They don't think, you know what, let me just sit, I have a certification, I have a product, I have a service, I will not do anything about it, people should just know when I'm sitting at home. That's not what they do. They go out there, they talk about it, they learn whatever it is that they need to learn. They hire mentors, they hire coaches, they learn whatever the hell they need to learn, right? So that is an attitude you are going to need in the coaching business. And I will tell you what, there are too many people who think they are skilled because they have certificates, but there are far too less people who are actually committed. So that is why there is truly no competition in the coaching business, because you will see a lot of people who call themselves coach, but when it actually comes down to, are they committed, are they actually committed to invest in their brain, are they actually committed to treat their business as a business, you will find the number is very less. And this is why you need to understand that life coaching in itself has not only a huge amount of scope, but something that there is zero competition in, because people still haven't registered that you need to be committed to take a business far, right? They still play around with it. So when you are committed, you stand out, right? When you are committed, you are one of those rare people who are not taking this as a joke. So obviously you will succeed, right? Okay. Now, after this mini lecture that I have done, let me get to how do you actually monetize your coaching skills. Again, before I'll just check if so far we have any questions or any doubts so far. Okay, so far we don't have any questions. Just someone saying great work. So thank you for that. All right. So, how do you monetize your coaching skills? So, I'm going to assume that you have your coaching certificate, right? Maybe if you are someone who hasn't gotten trained in coaching yet, you're very welcome to join my training program launching this month. But for the sake of this right now, I'm going to assume that you do have your coaching certificate or you are in the middle of your training. Okay, I'm going to assume that. So, after you are done with your training, or maybe you have done your training, you must define that how do I want to serve the world? Because coaching is about serving, right? So, you must define what is the mode I want to serve people in. Do I want to provide one on one coaching? Do I want to serve people one on one? Do I want to serve through boot camps, through workshops? Do I want to do workshops? Do I want to do a group coaching program wherein I start with a single goal with a bunch of people and I help them get to point A to point B? Or maybe I want to be someone who wants to do a mix of both. So for example, I will give you my example and how I mentor coaches. The one thing that I always tell any life coach is nail one-on-one coaching. Absolutely nail it. Once you nail one-on-one coaching, you will have zero trouble in shifting to either group coaching as well. And one-on-one coaching is the easiest thing to start with, and it is incredibly scalable, and it requires very little effort on your part, and it is highly profitable. So my recommendation, my professional recommendation, even when I will be training and mentoring these coaches who are coming into my energy this month, is going to be to nail one-on-one coaching. Okay, because first, when you coach someone one on one, the impact is that much high. Second, if you're someone who maybe does not have a large social media following, or maybe who doesn't already have a warmed up audience, then it's a very good place to start with, because you just need one person at a time. And third, you have the flexibility of time as well as the charge that you want to charge in your coaching package, right? So that's my professional recommendation. If you're ever working with me, I would always recommend you to nail that, right? So what's the first step? Define the mode I want to serve people in, right? Could be anything, whatever works for you. For example, I have seen people who find group work much more comfortable than one-on-one work. Personally, for me, because not only I'm an introvert, but I am someone who believes that one-on-one work is just very powerful, because I also am a trauma-informed coach and I do a lot of intergenerational and childhood trauma healing with my clients. One-on-one is something that's like my personal favorite, right? That's something that I not only have seen immense results in when it comes to my clients, but it is something that I have found to be very flexible for my schedule as well, because I'm not a disciplined person. Okay, I am a passionate person. So I have these what do you call this, work spots, right? So for example, some days I want to work for 8 hours, some days I just don't want to work at all. For example, today I'm having one of those days, but I just don't feel like working. I mean, it's a beautiful weather in Bangalore, and there is this window here, and there is like a lot of cold air coming from there, and all I want to do is I just want to read my book and make some hot chocolate. So today, that's all I did. I am just here to do a live event with you guys, because talking is one of my favorite things to do. But apart from that, I have literally done zero work today. My to-do list is here, but I'm not worried, because I've created my life like that. One of the beautiful parts of having a coaching business is not only do you get to serve other people, but you also get to serve your highest purpose in a way that is very freeing and comforting to you. For example, my biggest desire was to work in a way that is comfortable to me, that I get to decide my hours. Maybe some days I want to work 8 hours, maybe some days I want to work 10, maybe some days I want to work zero, but I get to decide that. So that autonomy is something that became a very big part of my business. So another thing that I'm teaching the people I'm going to be mentoring in my training program is how to create a business that aligns with your life values. For example, my core value is freedom. I will never work with someone I don't feel aligned with. I will never charge a price that feels small to me. I will always charge what excites me, and I will never force myself to work when I don't want to, because freedom is my core value. And similarly, there are different core values for different people. But when you align your business with your core value, there is no way you will ever quit or you would want to quit. Like if you ask me today that, Yanchi, is there a plan B you have? I don't have one. I really don't, because I love my work so much, and I love the freedom that comes with it so much, that I cannot think of another work that will come close to my core value of serving, creating an impact, and my core value of freedom. Freedom being the top one, right? So Another thing that you need to keep in mind as a coach is please find someone who can mentor you around building a business around your core values, because that is a business you will never quit, believe me. Often people quit business because it stops aligning with their core value. For example, one of the coaches I spoke to a while back told me that, you know what, Riyanshi, financial independence is very important to me, but because I don't know how to actually sell or market myself, I stopped coaching. I went back to my job. I like left coaching in the middle. So you must understand that whatever it is that you want, right? Whatever it is your desire, could be freedom, could be discipline also. Maybe you want to work with corporates as a coach, doesn't matter. Align your business that way, because that way you will not quit. Because you are literally living your highest purpose. See, coaching is not just about serving others, it's also about serving yourself. This should always be a give and take. It should not be that, okay, I'm just sacrificing myself, which is, I see a lot of coaches do. They do a lot of free coaching and then they burn out. And again, obviously, they're making zero money or very little money. So that's not what coaching is. Okay, please don't understand coaching as a sacrificial thing you do. It's a give and take. And you know what? When that give and take is balanced, you will never want to quit. And ultimately, business is not about quitting. Business is not about how much money you make in the short term. It's actually about how long can you stand without quitting. That's what it's about, right? Okay. Now, once you've decided what your mode of coaching is, second is you choose a niche. So a niche is basically, how to put it very simply, it's basically a topic that you specialize in, and you want to help people with specifically that. So it's consider it like going from generic to specific. For example, what I help people with majorly is confidence and anxiety, be it professional or personal, and I do it through trauma work, right? So it could be anything for you. Maybe you are someone who wants to coach sales professionals. Maybe you are someone who wants to coach married women. Maybe you're someone who wants to coach pregnant couples who want to prepare themselves in the relationship for a child to come. Could be any niche, right? So second is choosing a niche. Now, why do we choose a niche? Again, I had a conversation with someone a couple of days ago, and they told me that, you know what, Rianchi, my mentor told me that you don't actually have the need to choose a niche. So, why is it that you're recommending that? And for that, I told them that, look, when you're starting out, okay, it's not important to choose a niche. If you feel that being a generic life coach is something that helps you more, then go with that. Now, why I recommend choosing a niche is it makes it simpler for you to market yourself. It makes it simpler for other people to relate with you a certain skill. For example, when people come to me to get coached, they tell me that, Riyanshi, when we think of confidence, we think of you. When we think of trauma work, we think of you. Now, obviously, this is not a overnight thing, right? It is because I've spoken about this for so long. So that is what niche is. Now, if you're wondering how to actually choose a niche, I have done a huge community session inside my Empowered Coach community, which is again a community of coaches. I do weekly sessions there, and the recording of that session is actually uploaded on YouTube for public. So how do you find that? Is you just go on my bio, you'll find my link tree there. Just go to my YouTube channel, and you will find about 10 to 12 big master classes on coaching that I've done, right? The next one I will be doing most probably would be on how to price yourself. So anyway, so the second part is choosing a niche. This makes it more specific for you to write your content or whatever way you want to market yourself, right? Now, the third is creating an offer and actually pricing it. Now, what is an offer? An offer is basically what you are serving to someone. So, for example, let's say you are coming to me and telling me that, you know what, Rianshi, I want to work with you, right? Now, I will tell you that, you know what, this is an offer that you can work with me for. Maybe, I will tell you that you can work with me for 4 sessions. You can work with me for 4 months. You can work with me for a year. You can work with me for 6 months. And, I charge, let's say, 100 rupees for that, 200 rupees for that, 500 rupees for that. So you create an offer and you price it. Now, I think also made a training on this as well. Again, you will find that on my YouTube. And if you're someone who actually wants to attend all of these training live, and you want to be part of the conversations around coaching and monetizing it with me, you can just join my community, the Empowered Coach. So when you think about how to actually create an offer, you need to understand that an offer is something that is very specific to you. It will come naturally through your body. Now, this is what we call trusting your body when it comes to your business. Now, I'll tell you a secret about coaching business, which a lot of people don't know. See, a coaching business is not like running a cafe, selling clothes, selling shoes, or water bottles. It's not like that. Your coaching business, your coaching is going to come from your nervous system capacity, which means your business is going to be a direct reflection of how you think and feel. And I want you to understand this at depth, because you must understand that when a person is coming to you to get coached, you are dealing with a human being, their emotions and their thought processes. And when someone is approaching you to get coached, they are looking to feel safe with you. Imagine a coach who is underconfident. How the hell are they going to make other person safe? They're not. And that is one of the reasons why, again, a lot of coaches fail. They don't work on their personal growth. And you must understand that your investment in your business is going to be investing in your personal growth. If I were running a cafe, my investment would be what? Raw materials, hiring waiters, hiring chefs, beautifying my place, buying comfortable chairs and tables. That would be my investment. But if I'm a life coach, my investment is into my personal growth and in expanding my brain, because your business comes from your nervous system, right? So that is also going to be a part of the training program that I will have, wherein I'm going to teach you how to actually create and offer create marketing strategies that speak to you. I'll give you an example, okay? So when I started my business, in the very first few months, I was advised by someone that you should do email marketing. And let me tell you something about email marketing. I have never bought something from an email marketing, ever. I'm not even joking. No matter how interesting the offer is, I've never bought something from email. Second, I don't open my email. I think at this moment, maybe I have about 5,000 to 6,000 unopened emails. Maybe I will subscribe it. Maybe I will give my email because there is something I've seen, but I don't actually open it. So I have never trusted in email marketing as a person. I'm not saying it doesn't work for me, right? So my body never really agreed to it. So I did start an email newsletter. Okay, I've actually started 2 or 3 times. Even right now, you can see the Substack link in my link tree. You can see that. But am I consistent in it? No, I'm not. Because that is something that did not actually come from my body. It came from a suggestion from outside. And as a business owner, I always think of it this way, that I will try something. I will not say no to it. I tried it. And even now I'm thinking of maybe renewing my newsletter. But is it my priority? The answer is no. But you will never see me missing, not posting on LinkedIn, because that comes very naturally to me. I can write anywhere. I can be walking and I can write it. I can be in the middle of eating lunch and I can write it. So that is a natural thing to come to me. And all of my clients have always come through that only. Right? So what is that? That is you learning to trust your body, and your body guiding you what is your highest value and the best way for you to market yourself. And this is also one of the things you should know, because a lot of life coaches get trapped into these marketing strategies, do webinars, do this. For example, someone, I don't want to name them, approached me a while back, told me that, what, Yansh, you should do this webinar, that webinar, this 99 rupees webinar. And I told them that I have never bought from that. Second, I find them cringy. So why the hell will I do something that I find cringy? You can tell me that it will make me 1 crore, 5 crore, but I don't want to do it. So even if I try to do it, what is going to happen? I will hate myself, I will hate my business, and I will give up on my business, which is something that you should never ever do. So if you are forcing yourself to do something, then what is happening is that there is a disconnection between you and your business. Because other businesses may run differently, but a life coaching business, specifically a one person life coaching business, comes from your authenticity, comes from your body. So if you're ignoring that, then you must understand that some sort of repulsion will happen and exhaustion will happen. And we don't want that, right? An exhausting life coach is not an abundant life coach, is something you should know. So your offer will also come from your body, and I will teach you, how to actually trust your body, how to actually form a connection with your body in a way that you feel very confident. You feel very confident that this is a strategy that is working for me, right? And the next part is actually marketing it. Now, what is marketing? And again, I've done a whole, I think, 45-minute or 1 hour training on how to market yourself as a life coach. Go visit my YouTube. You will find that for free there, right? Now, what is marketing? Marketing as a life coach, I don't care if you are into other industry, marketing as a life coach is telling people in 100 ways how you can serve them. That's it. That is what life coaching, that is what marketing as a life coach is. You are simply telling people in 100 ways that this is how I can help you, this is how I can help you, this is how I can help you. It's not complicated, it's not jargon, doesn't have to be cringy, doesn't have to be something that you don't agree with, doesn't have to be something where your body feels that, oh my god, I don't want to do it, right? For example, in the beginning of my business, again someone recommended me that, you know what, Rianshi, you should go DM people, and it works for people, but that is something that I always found to be a bit repulsive for me, because again, I'm an introvert and I love talking to people, okay, and so ironic because my job is to talk to people. But reaching out to people and telling them that you should work with me or something like that, or maybe forming transactional connections, is something that did not appeal to me. As an introvert, I value deep conversations and I value deep relationships. I don't want to have a relationship with you just because I'm looking for some monetary gain, right? So DMing something that DMing, people, is something that I found very repulsive, and I found that to be very against my nature, right? So I tried it, and the 1 week that I tried, I felt exhausted. I felt like, oh my god, I hate my work, right? And that's a feeling that I never wanted to feel in my life. So I dropped it. I have always been of a mindset that I want to attract clients. That when clients want to come to me, they are sold out on working with me, not me having to fake a connection or fake a conversation with them. Right. So I went that way, and that's what my marketing is. I've never had to reach out to anyone. People reach out to me and they work with me. So again, marketing is that. Marketing is aligning how you want to serve people based on who you are as a person, what your true nature is, and what your core values are, right? And marketing can be again offline, online, it's completely your choice. Now why I chose to do it online is because, personally speaking, again, as I told you, I'm an introvert, so I don't really have like a, connection, like a lot of connections. So one thing I think, I don't talk about enough is that, I come from a Marwadi family, and if you're someone who knows, Indian Marwadi family is a very well connected people, and my parents are extroverts. Like, you know how you think of social butterflies, wherever they go, they make friends, they have huge network. People, I don't know. I don't think I know enough acquaintances as compared to how many friends they just have, right? So if it were, I guess, to my parents, it would be very easy for them to sell to their connections because they have a lot of connection. But that was not the case with me, right? I'm an introvert, so not only did I find that to be something that didn't come naturally to me, I did not go the offline route. Today, my parents tell everyone the work that I do, so I do get people who approach me offline as well. But that is something that happened because of the work I've done. So it is people getting attracted to my energy, not me going out there. So I chose the online way because it came easier to me. So what did I do again? Notice, I did something that's aligned to my nature and my personality, and something that came easy to me. Because again, you must remember that while building a business, your first job is to not give up. So don't go do something that's completely against you. Of course, challenge yourself. For example, putting myself out there on social media was also challenging to me. Challenge yourself, but don't try to completely go against your nature, because it's not going to work out. We don't want to make business another fight, right? We don't want that. Okay, so before I go to another topic, let me just see if there are any questions so far. Most people don't understand this. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm hoping you are talking about something that I've said. So, all right, let's move forward. Now let's talk about modes of marketing. So here is when we get a bit more specific that how do I actually want to market myself. Now again, as I've said, right, marketing is nothing but you telling people in 100 ways how you can help them, how you can serve them. So modes of marketing could be anything. You could do webinars, you can do workshops, you can simply offer free discovery calls, you can maybe create a free workbook for someone and offer them as an initial help. you can make a community and you can monetize the community. So there are different ways of marketing. Again, this is something that you should be figuring out with your coach and do a strategy call. So that is something that I also offer. If you're someone who's a coach right now and you're looking to have a deep dive into your business and you want to have like a solid strategy and you want to understand the ins and out of it, you're very free to book a strategy call with me. You can just DM strategy uh, in my DMs again. So I'll let you know how to book a call with me. So modes of marketing could be anything. For me, it was writing content and actually talking to people one on one, because I am someone who has found one on one work to be more impactful and to be more of, what do you call it, easy. Like, it came easy to me because I told you, right, I'm an introvert. And also group setting is something that I got comfortable with a little bit later, right? So for example, even today when I'm launching the life coach training and monetization program, this is going to be a group container, this is going to be a lifetime group container, right? So this idea was something that came to me a year ago, right? I wanted to do this a year ago, but I'm doing it now because it took me some time to get comfortable with group containers. And meanwhile, I still do my one-on-one life coaching. So group containers are something that did not come very easily to me, but I know coaches, for them group containers come easier to them than one-on-one, right? So your mode of marketing should be according to that, should be according to how you want to serve people and what you find easiest, and it could be anything. Another suggestion that I would like to give personally from my side, take it or leave it. So I have seen people lose their money in paid ads. I have seen people not actually trying to learn how to market and just giving money to someone who, you do it for me. I once met an ICF certified coach who had her certification for 3 years. She paid, I think, I don't know, $4,000-5,000 to someone that they will bring me leads. She didn't want to learn how to sell. She didn't want to learn anything. So she basically came to me to ask me that, Rianchi, how are you scaling your business and all that? And this was 1.5 years ago. And I was shocked to hear that. And my advice to her at that point of time was also that if you have never had a client, paid client, then your job is to learn how to market and sell. Your job is not to put more money in paid ads. That's my personal advice, specifically if you're running a one person coaching business and you don't have like a lot of funds, right? So for example, my principle from the very beginning was that uh, you know I will not go into paid ads until I actually know or learn how to do things organically, because I need to know the ins and out of my business, right? It shouldn't be that someone else should bring me leads and sales. That's a, I think that's a very crippling thing to do, specifically in a one person coaching business. So I've never done that. Even to this today, like, I've scaled my business to multiple six figures and I have never done any kind of paid marketing, right? And I don't know, maybe I will do it in the future, but that's not something that's a priority for me, right? So it's not like I will not, be able to have any clients because I'm not doing paid marketing. So your priority should be very clear like that. Now, just a last small topic. Now, all of this offer, marketing, sales, this is strategy part, right? This is just 10 to 20% of your business. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't get it right. You should absolutely get it right. The major reason why I see people struggling with, even strategy, is that they don't know what authenticity in their business is. They believe that, I will feel something else and people will still be able to buy from me. That I will feel underconfident, I will have a terrible relationship with money, but still people will pay me. It doesn't work like that. One of the things that I have found in coaches who don't make money are the ones who have not actually fixed their own relationship with money, haven't fixed their own relationship with themselves. So your growth in your coaching business is going to be directly proportional to your personal growth. Because ultimately, as a coach, you can only take a client as deep as you yourself have went. If you have not went deep enough with a client, what's going to happen is that it's going to come to a point where you will meet a client who will have the same problem as you, and then you're going to sit there, I don't know how to help this person because I have not helped myself. So please don't be one of those coaches. Invest in your personal growth, because again, as I told you, your investment in your business is in your brain. For other people it's in commodities, land, or maybe equipments. For you it's in your brain, right? Now, marketing and coaching is a result of authentic problem solving, understanding your ideal clients, and building trust and relationships. So, these three things are just non negotiable in a coaching business. And these are things you cannot fake. These are things you cannot copy paste from ChatGPT or Google. It is going to be a direct relation and direct, what do you call it? it will directly come from your body, it will directly come from your own confidence. So if you are someone who's not confident, if you're someone who's struggling, if you're someone who is feeling lost, fix that. Okay, fix that, because that is the reason your business is not scaling. Believe me. And the last part, which is something that I will also be teaching in the training program, and something I also teach coaches one-on-one when they get mentored by me, is doing repeatable systems and processes. Now, what do I mean by this? See, one thing I realized very early on is that even though I'm not a disciplined person, if I don't create processes and systems for my business, I'm going to sit every single day and I'm going to feel overwhelmed, because I don't know what to do, right? And every day you can't expect yourself to be energetic or motivated. I'm telling you personally, I feel that in a month, maybe I think for 7 to 8 days, maybe I'm upset about something, right? And maybe I'm upset about something, maybe I'm not motivated. But that doesn't mean that I don't work. I still work. Now, why am I able to do that? It's because I'm not relying on my feelings, right? Now, this is me thinking from a business owner mindset, right? If I were to think from what coach mentors teach you, go with your feeling, then I will never get any work done. So the very big part of your coaching business is also setting repeatable systems and repeatable processes in place, so you are not relying on your feelings to get the work done. Because ultimately, it's a business, no? You need to put in the work, you need to put in the energy. So when you set that up, you are not sitting every day wondering, oh my god, I don't know how to start, which is again a case with a lot of coaches. So if you don't have repeatable systems and processes as well, get them done, right? Sit with a coach of your choice, get mentored by them, and get it all done. And if you're someone who's looking to get mentored by me, you can just DM me strategy to book a call. And I think I've completed everything, whatever it is that I wanted to cover for today. If you are an aspiring coach and you're looking to get trained and you're looking to learn how to monetize your coaching skills, you actually want to become a life coach, join my community, The Empowered Coach, where I will be doing a webinar on 22nd of June on how to scale and build your coaching business from scratch. And in that webinar itself, I'm going to give you a walkthrough of my training program. And if it feels like a fit, you are very welcome to join me. And if you are a professional and you would like to work one-on-one with me for your anxiety, for your confidence, and you want to do childhood trauma work, you're free to book a clarity session with me. Again, the link is in the bio. And I have done a lot of live events, to be honest, a lot of trainings that are available for free. Honestly, like if you consume them itself, you will see your brain change and you will see your thinking getting deeper. So you can watch that as well. I will just see if I have any questions so far, and then I will be taking a leave. I don't think I have any questions so far. Thank you for the session. You're welcome. All right. So I guess that's it for today. You can watch this as a recording on YouTube as well as another event section of my profile, in case you could not attend the full thing live. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. And I will see you for another live event, probably this week or next week. You will find the details in my LinkedIn profile only. So if you're following me, you will know. Bye bye.